Okay, welcome back, guys. Thank you for joining us on the other third tutorial. I will welcome you back. Today's tutorial, this is the third tutorial that we are having today. So I remember in our second tutorial, previous tutorial, we talked about different parts of the computer, and finally we ended with the ports and connectors. So we lastly looked at the universal serial port, the fireware, the network port, and many more ports. We said without these connectors and the ports, then the other parts of the computers can't communicate to one another. So let's continue to the presentation today, where we are starting with using the computer. How one would use the computer. These are just basics on how one would start using a computer. I know there are very many people who know how to use a computer. They know how to start a computer, and well, there are those also who don't know. Actually, others start a computer but they don't know how they do it. Others find when the computer is on already. Others fear to turn it off because they don't know how to put it again. So we are saying to turn on a computer, you press the power button on the systems unit, or in the system unit. So the system unit is that case, is that box. For example, look at this this external this hard drive. Okay, this is a case. This is a hard disk case. So for this one, we actually need to open it so that we can see the inside. So what is inside is the computer parts we looked at the other time. Okay, we looked at different parts. So we are assuming this is our computer case now. It has ports. We talked about the ports, I remember. It has those ports here. It has the ports. And then also we are saying to power on the computer, or to turn on the computer, you press the power button on the system's unit. So we assume this is the system unit for a computer. Now you press the power button. Okay, the power button. So after you press the power button, then log on to the operating system. So the computer works under a given system, okay, in operation of a system, which is the operating system. Okay, it can be Windows, it can be Linux, it can be Mac, or else it can be any other type of operating system. Okay, so after you log on to the operating system, because when you power on the computer, it goes into what we call power on self-test, the host. It tests each and every part of whether it is connected very well. Then it logs on, or it loads up to the Windows. Okay, so when I mean the operating system, it may not necessarily be Windows. So when you're there, then you either log on using the user password or the username, your password or the username. Okay, so then after you are able, immediately you log on to the computer, the operating system, or you put in your password and Windows, then you are able to use your computer through modifying some files, saving files, creating new files, playing music, playing a game, and many more. Then thereafter, after using a computer, you need to power it off or shut it down. In this case, we are calling it shutting it down. So you shut it down and you give it time to rest, of course. Like a human being, a computer is also using the brain. That brain that works tirelessly, it makes a lot of time, then it is of no use to leave the computer on when you're not using it. So better shut it down and leave it to rest. Okay, so to shut down the computer, we are saying click the start button on the Windows operating system. For example, you click on the Windows operating system for the start. Okay, you start, then you press on the left hand side, you click shutdown. It may not necessarily be on the left, but it depends on the type of the operating system you're working with. If you're using Windows 10, if you're using maybe Windows 7, it will differ. Okay, so that is after using the computer, you shut it down. So we said also we're going to look at using the keyboard, using a keyboard, or looking at different keys on the keyboard. Here I have the simple description of the keyboard, and we can maybe briefly look at a few sections of keys on this keyboard. We have what we're calling the typewriter keys. The typewriter keys. They are those keys that help us in our daily life typing to input in the computer. So this is the area highlighted in blue, that is light blue, of course. I don't know whether I'm color blind, but this is light blue. So they are keys that are called typewriter keys. Sometimes they are called alphanumeric keys. We have other keys like this one. There are two keys on the keyboard. For the complete keyboard, we have the Windows keys. Okay, they are also used. If you press on it, it displays the Windows menu. We have the application keys that is found here. It is normally 1. We have the function keys, always labeled F1, F2, F up to F12. We have also the numeric keys. These keys here that are always used for type calculations in most cases. I normally see this with the bankers. So they like using only this. People in the bank, they like just using this area. So it is another section on the keyboard. We have the cursor control keys. Cursor control keys, sometimes called the navigation keys. They help us to move the page up, page down, left, right. So they are navigation keys. Okay, they help us to move the cursor from one area to another, from north, south, east, west. Okay, so they are also parts of the keys, or the section of the keys on the keyboard. We have the enter keys. There are always 2 here on the keyboard. Some keyboards have 1, but it is the enter key. Like a key you press is like saying okay, accepting something. So there are enter keys also here, highlighted in some light yellow. I don't know whether it is orange or whatever. So we have other keys like the num lock, scroll lock, and very many other keys. All these are part of the keyboard. Also, don't forget this important key, that is the escape key. Okay, so this is about the keyboard. Then using the mouse is also another part that we said we shall look at today in our presentation. So we are saying to use the mouse, we don't need skills. We don't need a lot of skills. We just need to concentrate and learn it. Okay. So in this case, a mouse is a small device, a very small device that you can use to move, select, and open items displayed on your monitor. Okay. So the mouse is helped by the cursor control keys sometimes to move given part somewhere, or the keyboard works hand in hand. So we're saying most mouse devices have at least 2 buttons, the left and right, though there is also that scroll button to move up and down the pages. So we have the mouse that is always having 2 buttons. The basic mouse has 2 buttons. So there are different types actions that are performed by the mouse that we have to give attention to. One is to point. Like you see here, I'm pointing at the heading. So one function of the mouse is to point at something. Another one is to double click. Another person may double click. Okay, I have double clicked. So it is used to double click. Another person can right click. Okay, can right click. So it is another function of the mouse to right click. Then another function is to left. Of course, when you right click, you can also left click. Then click and drag. I can select something, click it, then I drag it. I move it from, I click here, I drag something. Okay. Then one can also carry something or drag something, then drops it somewhere. Okay. I can get like this heading. I drag, I click and drag it, then drop it somewhere. Okay, so that is all the work for the mouse. It is done by the mouse. Okay, using the mouse, we are continuing with using the mouse. So there are different types of mouse. Okay, there are different types of mouse, but for us here in this case, we're going to mainly concentrate on the trackball and the optical mouse, though there is also a regular mouse. Okay, so all these are types, and there are very many more types of mouse outside there. So they are also used as part of the computer. Maybe if one has a question today here, can ask us before we proceed with the next lesson on our introduction to computers. And I want to assure you that if we move together, like I said at the beginning, together we can wax. So if there is no any question, guys, let's meet in the next tutorial where we are going to look at computer terminologies. We shall look at computer terminologies and try to look at different things. I think if I recall very well, in the first tutorial I talked about the objectives of the first lecture, but also on the second lecture we have our objectives that we have to fulfill. Let's meet, guys, on the first tutorial that is computer terminologies. Okay, let's meet, guys. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe to our channel. I wish you a nice time.